The Bhagavad Gita in a capsule. Time is a very precious commodity today. No time even to attend to routine matters in this competitive external world. Where then will one find the time to read the great spiritual texts like the Bhagavad Gita? However, a basic knowledge of such precious treasures of our ancient heritage is an absolute must to live successfully in this complex modern world. To bridge the gap between the no time and the much needed, this Bhagavad Gita capsule has come into existence. It tries to incorporate as much of the basics as possible in a few pages. Hopefully, the reader will soon be goaded on to find the time to read the original text and reap richer benefits. The Bhagavad Gita, the call of the divine. Introduction. The Bhagavad Gita was written by the sage Vedavyasa more than 5,000 years ago. Yet, the contents are applicable even today because it is a science. It predates all religions and hence cannot just be called a holy book of the Hindus. It is a practical guide to living. It teaches us the goal to be attained and the way to achieve it. It not only shows us how to face the challenges of life, but also reveals who we truly are, our true self. Sri Adi Shankara extricated the 704 Gita verses from the Mahabharata and gave it to us. In the Mahabharata war between the cousins, Pandavas and the Kauravas, a confused, disillusioned and dejected Pandava, Arjuna, lays down his arms and refuses to fight, as it would amount to killing his own kith and kin and even his respected teachers. The Lord enlightens him, and finally, from a confused, agonized and disillusioned Arjuna, he is transformed into an enlightened Arjuna, ready to fight and face the challenges of life. This transition from darkness to light is the crux of this great treatise, the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita in reality is a symbolic representation of the eternal war within us, the constant fight between our divine impulses, the good represented by the Pandavas and the negative tendencies, the bad represented by the Kauravas. The spark of divinity within each one of us, guiding us throughout life in the form of a soft voice from within, is the great Lord Krishna. We could call it the higher consciousness, the awareness, our higher self, Atman, call it by any other name. It should also be remembered that throughout the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord represents the higher self, the awareness or the life principle in each one of us, while Arjuna represents the common, confused, shattered human being who has become so because of his internal maladjustments. Thus, in a sense, we have within us both the divine principle, Lord Krishna, and the mere mortal principle, Arjuna. The whole Bhagavad Gita is in the form of a question and answer session between the Lord, who is the charioteer, and his disciple Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Sanjaya, the minister who is blessed with a divine vision, narrates the whole episode taking place in the Kurukshetra battlefield to the blind king, Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kauravas. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, we will see that the reference to man is at all his three levels: the body, mind, and intellect, the BMI. An important note: the entire expounding of the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna is done in a rare moment of his yogic integration, when he is totally identified with the higher self or the divine principle that is pervading everywhere. Hence, whenever he says me or myself, etc., it is to be regarded as the declaration of the divinity and not to be construed as the bragging of a mere historical personality, a mortal Krishna, the child of Devaki. It is something like electricity declaring, I am the one energy that gives the glow in all filaments. The next will be the first chapter, the grief of Arjuna.